Hello and welcome to my studio. My name is Ido Agassi, and today I want to talk to you about the fear of using glue and how to prevent the messiness of working with it while you are doing your project. I know this is a barrier for many of you and you are struggling with it. So first of all, know that you are not alone. And I hope this video also can help people that know their way around glue and can find tips and different approaches and ways to work with it. So let me start by bringing the glue itself. I'm working with brushes, but you can also use a roller. I have two brushes. One is 2 centimeters, which I think is 3/4 of an inch. And I have a big glue brush. As you can see, it's quite old. And actually, I'm using it for more than 20 years. It started like this one. As you can see, there's no metal on the brush because it's always inside a jar of water and I don't want it to rust. Okay, so this is a jar of water and this is the glue. And occasionally, couple of months each time, I give it a glue cut. I just cut off pieces of dry glue so it would help me put it back inside the jar. So first of all, when I'm taking out the glue brush, it is in water and I'm taking off the water. Let me put this aside. And the first thing I want to talk to you about is how to apply the glue. I'm dipping it not all the way inside the jar, and then I'm taking off the excess glue and only then taking it to my work. Let me bring a piece of cloth so you can understand more clearly what I'm talking about with the risks. So after I'm dipping the brush inside, I never go on the work because the glue can drip on your work. Always go the long way around, okay? It is very important. It is written in glue. Let me flip it over and I'll bring a piece of board. The second thing to avoid messiness is after dipping, I'll take the excess glue and I'm always starting from the middle to the outside. Why is that? Because when I'm working from the inside out, when I'm reaching the end, the glue is going up until the edge. If I'll go vice versa, I'll have glue on the corners, on my fingers, and then on the work. So I'll put this aside for a second. As you can see, it spilled also on the work. I didn't intend that to happen, but look, I'll take a sock. You can use a towel or just a piece of cloth, but always have a piece of cloth handy to wipe off things. But look, this is a towel I'm using for years and it can stand by its own, I think. It's so full of glue. Back to our instructions of always from the inside out to prevent messiness. Also, what you can do, if it's not easy for you or if it's a big piece of board, you can use waste paper and put underneath and then glue the entire thing. But I always move the waste paper, put underneath the table, wait for it to dry and reuse it. This is waste paper also that I'm using for years. Look, it became a different kind of material with all the layers of glue. So let me take it and just connect it here on the edge. I'll flip it over. I'll move this aside. Another thing, never, when you finish working with the glue and applying it, never put it inside the jar. I'll do it now so you see what I mean. If I'm putting it inside, the glue is on the whole brush and that brings a lot of messiness. Let me take off everything. When you finish, put it on the jar, or you can put it inside this brush rest. I call it nuchivreshet. You can use it for different kind of brushes, and maybe I'll make a video about how to make this and I will link it here. Again, I have a lot of waste papers. I'll put one underneath here. I'll bring my glue. I'll dip it inside the jar, take off, always go around, and I'm applying it on the waste paper up until the end, taking the waste paper out and lifting and connecting. By the way, while I'm working with the small brush, the big brush is inside the water so it won't dry out. Take it out and connect. I'll move this aside. Now let's talk about the consistency. This is quite thick glue, okay? It's directly from the can or the container. If you want to spread it to a larger piece, what you can do is add methyl cellulose, okay? It comes in a powder. There are many brands, okay? It's a kind of a powder, and you put the powder inside a container with cold water, mix it, wait 24 hours, and then you can add it to your PVA. It helps spread the work, and the glue is not sticking very quickly as from the box itself. So if I'm constructing boxes, I use the glue directly from the container I got from the shop. But if I want a large piece and spreading a large piece, I will add a little bit of MC, methyl cellulose. Another thing I want to talk to you about is always aim to glue the thicker material first. I'll bring my big glue brush, I'll take it out. Again, taking out the water, I'll change brushes and put this inside the water. Now, I want to glue this paper to this board. What I'm going to do is glue the board because this is the thicker material, and then only the edges of the paper. So it would go like this. I'll dip the brush inside. Okay, again, dipping and taking out the excess glue, going around and applying it to my board. Just a reveal board here, okay? I'm giving it a nice coat, not a lot of glue, okay? I don't want you to bring it like this and have like a bump of glue. That won't work. You need to spread it evenly all around. Now I'm going to take a piece of waste paper. I'll put it on, and I'm going to work only the edges, and that way my paper won't start warping and moving. So always I want you to aim the thicker material first. Sometimes you don't have an option, but that's what I suggest you do. And then I can bring it to the place, look that it's aligned. Also I have time because I have glue on the paper just on the edges. So if it's not touching completely, I have the option to maneuver it a bit and then to connect. Now let's talk about when you finished working. I'll move this aside. I'll bring the water and I'm going to dip the brush inside and then add the second one near it. I use glue all the time, every day, all day. That is why it is always in the jar of water. And what I suggest you do, if you're working a whole day, have a jar of water. The water with time becomes water with glue. If you're working on a single work, I would take out the brush from the water, clean it in the sink with water, okay? Just make sure that there's no glue inside. You clean it and then you dry it with your towel. Dry it completely. You can wash it again, dry it again. I know some people add a little bit of soap, but I'm not sure it's necessary. After you see everything is dry, then you put it inside the jar upside down like this. And before you start working again, you just put it inside water make sure it is flexible again, and then start working. About what kind of glue I used, that's a bit of a complex question for me because I use different brands for different projects. I have one manufacturer that is making a glue especially for me. It's called 55, and that won't help you. But I also have from Thales Jade 403. There's also from Hewitt a great PVA, so if you're in Europe. There's one on Amazon that I use also. I don't have it here. And there are so many brands, so what I suggest we would do is in the comments, write me what kind of brand you use and where are you located in the world. I'll try to get the different brands and maybe make a video about PVA in different locations in the world. Thank you for watching and for being here. Remember, don't fear the glue. Use it. You're in control, and with the right way, no messiness, and it would work great. Thank you for being here and for watching. Consider subscribing if you're interested in things related to bookbinding and box making, and I'll see you in my next video.